Hey loves, it's Xaviana coming at you with the actual factuals on relationships, mental health, and self esteem. And joining me is model Diamond Crystal.
Hi,
Thank you for joining me.
and thank you for having me.
And we're in a new environment with this episode. Shout out to Strong Island Entertainment. I want to begin with there is this trend that I've been seeing on social media, and it involves the song Unconditional by Shanae Harnett. And it contains mothers who fear that they'll have a hard time getting into a relationship because they have young children. Then somebody comes along, and even with the warning, I have X amount of children, this person is still willing to be in a relationship with them. And these ladies, they're working full time and they're doing the wife and motherly responsibilities, and it seems as these guys are leeching off these women.
Right.
And so the guys don't have to worry about them being in the streets, and these ladies spoil these guys to keep them around because they don't know when or if they'll get an opportunity of being with somebody else who wants to accept them and their children.
hmm
So let's get into the first discussion of how to date as a single parent.
Dating as a single parent is going to be hard regardless. Just jumping into that, because obviously, when you have kids, you're coming out of thinking that it was going to be a family with one person. So now you're becoming a new person and you have to learn somebody new now. So it's different. I mean, it's
It
hard.
is rough, especially when you have more than one child. I mean, I only have one, so
I have two.
but then it also comes of, does that person like all of your children? Do they only like one? Are they going to feel that they're going to be responsible for your children
It depends on
financially?
ages, how old the kids are at that too. Because I mean, that also plays a very big part. Because as I feel like as kids are younger, we're able to, kids don't actually look at the outside of how we're portraying ourselves to be, rather than they see everything that, like, how we are on the inside. And that'll, like, make a kid fall in love with who you really are, rather than, how if you go and say somebody has a teenager kid or an adult kid,
It's a
and
little
it's like
easier.
it's harder actually.
It could be because now they can
Now you feel
talk
like you have to
back.
prove
They
something. No,
can,
you feel like you have to prove something to that other person because now they're older. They have a older mindset. You know what I mean?
somewhat. I mean, it can go either way because if that child is older and they don't live with you, then how often are they going to see your partner?
Yeah, no, but I'm
And
saying even teenager wise, or because teenagers are, and it's
yeah,
like
you're not my dad. You're not
yeah,
my
you
mom.
don't owe me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me like you're not my parent. So
So, how do you find time to be with your partner without your children involved? Because when you have young children, they take up all your time, all your
right.
energy. You got to be cautious about bringing someone around your children. Maybe they curse a lot, and maybe they like to smoke, they like to drink. I don't know, they're just pretty open.
hmm
So how do you find time for your children and time to get to know that new partner?
Um, well, if you're a parent, obviously you're with your kids all the time, 24/7. So that's a nonstop job in itself. After that, you basically just try to find, even if it's an hour or 30 minutes or anything like that, take that time to go ahead and actually get to know somebody rather than, yeah, all right, just like how you were saying, somebody could be smoking and drinking and doing all of that. But if you're actually taking the time to go ahead and actually get to know the person,
So if you do set a time, like set aside an hour to get to
hmm
know someone, and that person is still saying, oh, that's not enough, but you got to let them know your children come first. And if
hmm
it's somebody who doesn't have any children, that sounds more challenging.
if they don't have kids either, it might benefit also because that might make a person want to be around you more because they know you have kids. So it'll be easier on them.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen some people get attracted to their partners because they see how you are with your children. And
Even nowadays, there's a whole bunch of like podcasts and people going around and like follow, well, single guys saying, oh, well, I'd rather be with a single mother rather than
Well, that's
a girl that doesn't have kids. So,
well, that's like what I was saying in the beginning of the show. I've seen women with multiple children getting involved with somebody who doesn't have any children or maybe only has one child, and they're they're giving them everything. They're cooking for them, cleaning for them, spoiling them. I would know. I've been there. This was before I had a child, but I already know how it is to give someone your all.
right.
And me personally, I didn't really get much back, but it was something to for me to know that I'm doing all that I can to keep you around. But for some reason, that's still not enough.
Yeah, no.
So when you come with extra baggage, how are these ladies making it work? Is it because the guys are they're not worried about them being out in the streets, or is it because they're really attracted to them? Or both? I mean, like, do they are the guys thinking like these ladies, they don't have time to worry about where I am and what I'm doing? I could be out messing around when she's home with her children.
Definitely not. I don't think like that at all. I think I think every no. I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you have 5 kids, 10 kids, or 1 kid. If you want to do something, nothing's gonna stop you from wanting to do it. Whether you're being around your kids, or that's meaning whether if you want to cheat, you're gonna cheat regardless. Kids aren't stopping you.
Moving in together.
You're speaking on like if something was to go wrong, or
Well, dating is when you and that person are going out to places. Y'all are getting to know each other. Now you got past the dating stage and you're actually in a committed relationship.
at the end of the day, if I'm in this person's life, whether it's a man, a female, whether I'm in this person's life and you have kids, I want to be able to be there and still support your kid the same way I would support you. So the same way I'm gonna be there for everything that you need me for. Oh, babe, I need this. Oh, I'm graduating. Oh, whatever. I would be there for your kid twice as much.
Because now there are more boundaries since you two are officially a couple. And for me, because, you know, I swing both ways. I like ladies and guys, and I'm open about it.
So do I.
Okay. So that's something I need to be cautious about as well. If I am in a relationship with a lady, how is it going to affect my son? Is he going to get teased? Is he going to be embarrassed? Is he going to be uncomfortable saying...
Is he going to be confused?
See, that's a word that a lot of people like to use for bisexuals.
It's not even speaking on just bisexual. As a kid, though, growing up, not knowing, like, because when you're growing up, you see the common thing is mother, dad, woman, husband. So
Right. And my son goes to private school, and that's something that they teach him, that families are mother and father. Although they're not against it, they don't put their 2 cents in, but they don't promote it.
Exactly. You could have the most open family there is, but at the end of the day, there's just, like, kids growing up, they're going to be confused. They're going to have questions. They're not going to know exactly what's going on and how the world works right now. You see? The world is getting...
So it's rough because at the same time, you're trying to teach your child life. Like, you're trying to teach them how to deal with certain situations, and you're also trying to look out for yourself.
Yep. It's hard to do both.
So, Diamond, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned in a previous episode that you just got out of a relationship with someone who was making less money than you. Is that the reason why you two split? Because they were making less? Or
that was
something
one
deeper?
of the reasons. Technically, okay. So I'm the type of person of when I get into a relationship, I go after the person, like, for who you are on the inside. It's not for how you look on the outside. It's not what you can give me. It's not what you can help me with. It's not anything like that. So when I actually met the person, they didn't really have anything, like, for themselves. So when we got together, I'm going to push you to go ahead and get a job. And we got a job. And men make excuses. So that's what it was. I can't put myself 100% into a relationship, go to work, go to school, do this and that, and you're sitting at home doing nothing, having an excuse, and you're the man. So it's like, I should be able to feel like I'm in my soft girl ever. I'm supposed to feel like, okay, I want to be feminine, and I am a girl. I should be able to want to sit back and just kick back and be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you know what, my man got it. But I couldn't do that. It was just like I had to always depend on myself. So it's like if I can only depend on myself, why are you here?
Yeah. And that's where, not saying this is your situation, but that's where the loneliness feeling, like, like in a Whitney Houston song, when the night falls, my lonely heart calls.
Mm-hmm.
It does, it hits you at night. Everybody needs somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it gets to the point where women are just like, I'll just take what I can get, especially if you are a single mother who doesn't have
Absolutely.
time to meet anybody or really go all out to make herself look presentable.
That's why a whole bunch of single mothers deal with a whole bunch of stuff that they deal with because they feel like they don't have a lot of options out here, or they'll be looked at a certain type of way or anything. So that's definitely true.
So I want to know what single fathers go through. Do fathers, when they go on job interviews, is the job looking at them like, well, you have young children. Are you going to be able to get to work? Are you going to be dedicated to come every day on time, not call out often? Are you going to have to leave early if your child is sick? When a guy gets in a relationship with a lady, is the lady going to have to put it in the back of her mind, like, he has children, they're always going to come first? Or is she going to think, like, the mother is going to handle everything if the mother is involved?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can vouch and say that I know a few amazing men that actually step up and are a father to the extent of where we're mothers, and anything that
Full-time
happens, yes,
fathers?
we got to drop everything we're going, like, and I mean, there are certain men out here that are full-time fathers, and I give them that. There definitely is. It's just very rare, but I mean, it's just, I feel like it's different for men to be able to drop stuff for their kids.
Supporting your partner is definitely a key element. And I want to use Jackie O as an example. Jackie O from Wildin' Out.
Right.
Rest in peace to her. My condolences to her family and her children. And, Jackie was getting a makeover involving a tummy tuck and some other changes to her appearance. And that's when she passed away. So my question is, if DC Young Fly, who is her children's father, I'm not sure if they were in a committed relationship at the time, but was he supporting her? Was he encouraging her to get the surgery? Was he telling her she doesn't need it, she's too beautiful? I really want to know what was going on in that situation, because that probably, it could have been avoided. Because if she's your partner, you should be telling her how beautiful she looks very often. You should be telling her she doesn't need that. How do you feel about that?
I think I've actually watched a podcast that he was doing when he spoke about Jackie after she passed away, and he was actually saying like how he tells her all the time, like, she's beautiful, like, you're gorgeous, like, he loves her because of how she is with like his kids and everything. And basically he told her like, oh, okay, like, you don't ever need anything done with your body, but he supports anything that she wants to do because he loves her. So when you love somebody, I mean, you might not want to change nothing about the person, but if you actually love somebody and they want to change themselves, go right ahead. I can't do anything else but support you.
Well, she was a really beautiful lady in my eyes. I think she was gorgeous.
Definitely.
I didn't see anything about her that needed surgery. I didn't see she needed a tummy tuck. So I don't really know what was going through her mind at the time. And it's sad that happened. But in relationships, you should be, motivating each other to do better and to love themselves. That's one of the main things of being with someone, is because you enjoy each other's vibes and company.
But another thing too with them, you have to remember, is because they're so out there in like the fame world and being celebrities and stuff, she's constantly getting looked at a certain type of way or being pressed on how she looks or how she appears to everybody. So she has to keep up a certain she feels like she has to keep up a certain appearance, if it makes sense.
It does.
So it's like, I mean, that's the world that she was living in. And maybe she probably just felt in that sense like, oh, okay, I maybe just want to tweak this little part, tuck it here. Let's fix that. But, I mean, I feel it. I want it done. So I can't even blame her.
Well, if you're already in the spotlight, in Hollywood, and you've already made it, what else do you really need to do?
You got to keep going.
I mean, it's just like with relationships. Like, once you're married, do you still work on like putting makeup on every day before you go out and doing your hair
Nope.
and looking your best? Or I'm not saying completely let yourself go,
Mm-hmm.
but do you put in as much effort?
No. And I think that's actually bad that women, well, anybody, I'm not going to say women. I think that's something that we all end up getting used to. Like, we end up getting into a relationship and end up losing ourselves or letting ourselves go rather than actually remembering, like, oh, okay, like, remember how you was when you were single and you were out here and you wanted to be beautified and you want to have the best clothes on and you want to.
Well, nobody's going to be looking the same forever. Coming from someone who grew up with no self esteem, no confidence, I've mentioned this before, being a
And y'all
dark
see how
skinned
beautiful she
girl.
is.
Oh,
I
well,
don't know
thank
where it's
you.
coming
Thank you.
from, where all this talk is coming from.
Well, look, I'm not Beyonce. I don't wake up like this. But it is rough. You know, I've discussed before growing up as a, well, even now being a dark skinned chick or a brown skinned chick, it's not easy. It's, you know, we have to put in a lot more effort. You know, hearing people say, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl, or, you know, light skin is right skin. So it's a lot. And then when you don't have self esteem, how do you teach your child how to
Right.
have it?
Yeah, no. I know. I'm going through that right now. That self-esteem thing. I mean, I don't, how do you feel like you go about it? Like, what made you, helped you throughout the years? Build your self-confidence, everything.
I'm still building it. I still have days where I'm just like, I'm not good looking enough, or I don't know, I'm just not fully there yet. Something is missing. I'm big on affirmations. I have them all over my house. I have one that says, do something every day that makes you happy. And I love singing. I love writing. I'm a journalist. So, you know, these podcasts keep me going because I can express myself. I can be open. I can get feedback from myself. It's, you know, I know every day is not going to be perfect, but it's something to keep me going.
Right.
The fact that I'm doing everything I can to raise my son to be a better person, to make a positive change in the world.
And you're showing him that he can use his voice and do something different.
Absolutely.
So that's what I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
So, what's more important to you in a relationship, passion or dedication?
Passion or dedication?
I mean, do you need to be fully turned on to your partner all the time, or is it more important for you to have someone who's committed to you and gonna keep their word?
Dedicated,
And
definitely. Because I feel like you can, I might not think you're freaking gorgeous 24/7, or you're not going to think I'm gorgeous 24/7. I might wake up like looking ugly as hell one day. You're going to be like, what the heck? Like, who is this person? But as long as you have dedication to a person, I feel like that's what really matters the most. Because as long you can have 20 million good-looking people pop up in here right now, and as long as you're dedicated to me, that's all that matters.
what's something that you notice you always do in your relationships that your partner complains about that you want to work on? Like for me, I have horrible communication skills. I won't exactly say what I mean, and that causes issues in
Right.
relationships. So that's something that I'm definitely working on. People also tell me I need to work on listening because I talk too much. So,
You and I both.
so that's something I'm working on. I really want that to work though, because I can see how that's interfering with relationships, and I can see how it becomes a problem, not even just with romantic relationships, but you know, at work and friendships. I'll say one thing and people will think I'll mean something else, and I'm like, well, that's not what I'm talking about.
It's like you're being misunderstood. You know what you want to say, but it's not coming out how you want it.
Right.
Well, me personally, I think I got a whole bunch of issues when it comes to relationships. I mean, one of them, which is a big one for me that I actually know I have to work on, is because I've been so done wrong in the past that I think everybody is out for me. And that's not even just in a relationship. That's friends. That's anybody. I just think people just had, like, nobody ever is looking just for the good things of what Diamond can bring, if that makes sense. Like, somebody's always looking for, okay, what she can do for me, or what like, how would she look with me, or if it makes sense.
It does. I get it. But, you know, Me personally, I don't need to be friends with every person in the world. Just
Mm-hmm.
because I speak to someone doesn't mean I'm friends with them. You can be business partners, associates, and that's something that I've been trying to explain to people. I've been doing a lot of things on my own lately because I'm tired of all the excuses. I don't have money, I don't have time, I don't have a sitter, I don't have this, I don't have that. I always tell people my motto is I can always get money back, but not time. So
Absolutely.
I've been doing a lot of things with just me and my son or just me on my own. People always want to leave me hanging at the last minute. So I don't have time for it. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I don't need a circle of friends. I've had a friend tell me maybe if you did this or didn't do that, then maybe you would have a circle of friends. And I didn't like that comment. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not something a friend should be telling a friend.
No, definitely not. I feel like people that are for you are going to be there regardless. So you shouldn't have to act a certain way or be a certain way for to have friends or be in a certain group. Like back in school, they'd be like, "Oh, you got the popular group, and you have like the cool group and the goth group and everything." It's like, okay, why do we always have to? And that's society also, which is the
Hmm.
problem. It's like, okay, we always feel like we have to act or be a certain way to fit in with a certain group, and it's like, why do we
I'm
have?
not afraid to stand out. I
Hey.
do my own thing. Nobody's going to notice you if you're blending in with the crowd.
Definitely.
So, hey, that's what I'm known for, is being unique. Yeah, see, I was just explaining something like this to people around Christmas when I invited a few people to an event, and they're telling me they didn't have time or they didn't have money. And I'm saying that you don't have to look at the holidays as spending a bunch of money on people. That's not what they're all about. People are always gimme, 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 or I'm teaching my son, like, that's not what holidays and birthdays are all about.
Hmm.
A person who truly cares about you will show you when it's not expected, not because it's a holiday.
Right. No, that's definitely a fact. But you have to understand too, um, every year is changing. So that's damn near what holidays are now. It's about presents and
Because that's what
gifts
people
and.
think, that's what they have it in their mind, that that's what it's all about.
Hmm.
But when I was explaining this to people, they're like, "Yeah, you're right. That's true. You don't
My
have to
daughter
be."
even thought Christmas was about what's that little elf thing, the elf on the shelf? My daughter was going off. She's like, no, mommy. She's like, elf on the shelf is coming on Christmas. I'm like, that's not who comes on Christmas, girl. Like, what it was
But
going on?
isn't that just to get kids to behave? Like,
I don't even
that's for
know.
you. I don't.
I
How
never
do you
had.
keep your partner interested if you are a virgin, or if you're just not ready to be intimate with them?
Um, how do you keep them
Mm.
interested? All right, well, if you're a virgin, I don't know because I'm not a virgin, so I never had to do that.
At one point, you were,
Yeah, but
before you were ever.
um,
I mean, and even when you do get involved with someone, like,
yeah, you're
you
not
don't
trying to rush
do
into
things right
anything.
away.
Keeping them interested. You really shouldn't have to try and do anything to keep anybody interested, honestly.
You shouldn't have to, but that's a lot of people.
That's
I
number
mean,
one. First of all, if you have to do something to at least get them interested in you or keep them interested in you, leave them alone.
I think it's so much easier said than done, because how many people, ladies or guys, are going to stick around if they're not getting anything?
But it's because we go after what we want instead of what we deserve, and that's a problem. We'll go after how a person looks or how a person acts or what they look like outside, and it's just like, all right, well, how are you with me? Do you actually like me? Like, or am I just being around you because I like you? Like,
Well, if you like them, I mean, and if they're sticking around, then apparently they like you too.
yeah, but there you have people that, because I've even been in situations of where I've just been around people because I know that they like me. And it's like, okay, maybe I could try this out. Let's give it a chance. Let's see maybe if it can go there. And then it's like, oh, I tried it. It didn't really work out like that. So, deuces.
Well, at least you gave them a chance.
Exactly.
So you can
So,
say
but
you
that's
did.
what I'm saying. So, in that whole stance of, okay, you need, like, trying to make somebody be interested in you, you shouldn't really have to do any of that. That's like a red flag right there. If you already feel
Well,
like somebody's off and, like, don't really like you all like that, then no.
well,
They
I
should be
don't.
giving you the same effort you were putting in. I feel
But
like,
that's not what relationships are all about. Like, you can't be happy with somebody if you're not doing that. There has to be, because what are guys doing the whole time their lady is healing after having a baby? That's 6 weeks.
You know what they doing. They taking
No, I
that
don't.
lotion into the bathroom and they handling that thing on their own.
So then what is the lady doing? Because ladies, they do it too. Y'all are not innocent. Y'all, ladies complain, like, I can't go this long without it. Like, I haven't done anything in a week.
I don't need, like, I'm that type of person. I don't actually need a partner to feel like, oh, okay, like I don't have to be in a relationship to feel like I gotta, like, do that. You understand?
So, meaning, like, you don't have to be in a relationship to be active?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to be. I mean, people do it all the time.
I could be talking to the most sexiest man and still not touch you like that.
And he's okay with it?
You might not be okay with it, but you're gonna suck it up. This is my body, not yours.
But then how long do they stick around?
That's your choice.
Then they're like, you playing with me. Like, come on. Like, why you doing that?
Shoot, I don't know. Why are you so easy?
Well, if you see a pattern, like if you notice that your partner always has to have their phone face down or
I hate
away,
that. I hate it.
Or they got to leave the room to get on the phone. Mm-hmm. I mean, true couples switch phones for a day.
Yeah.
I seen that somewhere. But I don't answer my phone every time it rings because, I have a life. People who are on their phone all the time.
Right.
If you answer your phone every single time it rings, that means you have nothing else going on in your life.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that's a fact.
Oh, wait, do we have somebody on live?
Yes, we have somebody on live.
Who we got?
Money Row.
Hey, Money Row, what's up?
What's going on?
We're discussing dating as a single parent.
I mean, I find it easier for dads because they got, idle time. They got a lot more time.
That's what we were discussing. It was saying, like, do fathers get judged like the single mothers? Is the girlfriend looking at it as his children are always going to come first? Is he going to have to cancel at the last minute because his children need something? Is she going to have to be responsible for his children? Is she going to have to buy birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, go to the children's soccer games or dance recitals?
If the energy is reciprocated, of course.
But what if you can't afford to pay for all of their children? What if they have...
She's saying, what if somebody has multiple kids and it's like, okay, like you only have one kid or two kids?
If you have five children.
If you could buy for three, you know what I'm saying? They say if you can't buy for all, don't buy for none. But if you buy for three, then, you know what I mean? That person is doing what they can. Or you just give the money and let the person, you know what I'm saying, get what they can. Like, you give what you can in a certain way instead of buying gifts. You know what I'm saying? It's the understanding.
Okay. Well, your partner and your children are one thing. How about your partner and your parents? Who comes first, your wife or your mother?
Your wife.
You said that
right,
with no
said that with
hesitation.
no hesitation.
Sheesh.
Very fast.
No thought.
What? That's crazy. You know what's crazy?
I'm saying, my mother always told me that.
If you ask a female that, majority of the time she's not going to say.
They're going to say their kids.
They're going to say the kids definitely coming first. That's a fact. The dog comes before the husband, right? What I'm saying is that
He said the dog comes before the husband.
She's going to put her mother first. She's going to be like, that's my mother. You know what I mean? Where a man's going to look at it as, this is my wife, this is my future, this is my future, this is who I'm going to create my family with. My mom done lived her life. She done had her family.
I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. Like, if you're driving, who's gonna sit in the front seat, your mother or your wife?
Your wife sits in the front.
Yeah, but I feel like that's different though, because being like, if me being a wife and sitting in the car, I would want the mother to sit in the front, just as a respect thing.
Mm-hmm. If it's a two-door, I cannot sit in the back. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not feeling trapped.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I'm not doing that. Sorry. So let's go back to the kid thing for a minute. I want to put this out there to all parents. Do not give your children these exotic names that Listen, I'm all for unique names.
Oh
Okay,
my
I love.
God, if you
I
say
gave
so,
my
go ahead.
I gave my child a unique name, but it's unique but simple.
Yeah.
But y'all have to think about how it's gonna affect the child, because a name has a huge effect on a person's self-esteem, their confidence. You have to think about, are they gonna like their name? Are they gonna be comfortable introducing themselves to people? Are they gonna want to raise their hand in class because they don't want to hear their name because they don't like it? Are they gonna get annoyed correcting people all the time? And that has a huge effect on how they live, because when you have to correct people over and over and over, it gets annoying. So
Right.
then that affects your relationship too. When you're with somebody, you gotta think about, I don't want to scream that out while we're in the moment. So that's something that people need to understand. Don't
Right,
put
that's more for the younger generation because they watching these movies and stuff, and they idolizing a fake actor, and then they go and name their kids after them and think that's the role that's supposed to play out in their life. And then when they become teenagers and they be that ratchet little boy or little girl, and it becomes their problem after that, then they wondering why.
Oh, people get judged based off their names. When somebody is getting locked up, it's like the Quans, Laquan,
No,
Shaquan,
I was just saying this the other day.
Hakeem.
Yeah. It's like that's like how all these Spanish people, they want to name their kid Jesus. And it's like, why y'all doing that? Because the first Jesus is they always locked up. They always doing something like.
Spell it the way it's pronounced. You don't need to put silent letters in a name. What's the point of that?
No, it's a fact. I hate that.
I
Yeah,
don't.
because that's how they trick people in America nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like they got us tricked with a lot of stuff.
But see, here's the thing. I have a unique name. My name is Xaviana. But it's not as unique as people think, because Iana, there's Juliana, Liliana, Mariana, Tatiana, Adriana, Viviana. But yet people look at my name and it's, how you pronounce that? Or Zavanya, Zavania.
But then you said just like you said in the beginning though, the Ianas is really like a Italian type of name. So everybody took the Ianas and put Tatiana and all the other blacks. You know what I'm saying? Not even necessarily black, but the ratchet type of into it, and just made names out of it because they thought that was fly and it sound ill.
But see, that's the thing. There are so many Ianas, but yet when they see my name, it's so confusing. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. People are afraid to say your name wrong. They're like, how do you pronounce it? I don't want to say it wrong. But that's annoying. I've never in my life asked somebody, how do you pronounce your name? Because that's a stupid question anyway. I tell people, pronounce things by moving your mouth.
You're
Well,
stupid.
Well, that's annoying. Don't ask me that.
Moving your mouth.
Well,
You know what annoys me when I be like, my name is Jason, common spelling, and they be like, how do you spell it, with a Y?
Yeah.
How when people in a relationship, right? And they marry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find the best way to put it.
Just spit it out.
Why is it that if the guy been there since day one, right, and everything is good, everything, and they decide to break up, why do the female get to take the child?
That's not always the case. I mean, sometimes the father gets custody. It depends on who's in a better situation.
Technically, yes.
No, I'm just saying, think about it. It just seems like it's automatic that the female gets the child.
Because it's just a womanly thing.
There are situations when the father gets the child.
No, he's saying
If
why.
if the mother is not fit, then
he's
the
saying
child.
why does the kids
or
always go
if
to the girls?
They don't.
Yeah, definitely. But nah, like I said in the beginning, everything is good. Everybody's equal. You know, he's there, she's there, they're day to day. And they just decide to split.
That's
And the
up.
baby is automatically the mother's.
That's up to the court. If the father wants to take the child when he leaves, y'all gotta go work
But
that
you
out.
see-
So give an example, because you're saying everything was good in the relationship. So then why did they split?
No, I was just trying to find a better reason or explanation to best explain that situation.
I don't really hear of a situation where the guy wants to take the children. Like when they split, like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm taking my kids with me.
Take them.
I'll be,
Take them.
I'll be where I want my kids.
Full time.
Yep. I take them right now. Drop them off. Thank you very much. Have a nice life. Sayonara to your mom.
And you're going to be committed to taking them to every doctor's appointment, picking them up from school if they're sick, not missing any plays that they're doing at school, if they're on any sports teams.
That means your life stops.
If your children are fighting with each other, you're going to be breaking up the fight. You're going to go grocery shopping, clothes shopping.
I've done all the above.
Deal with when they start dating, when they start driving. This is a round the clock thing.
I've done it already.
You've done it, which means
I know what it's.
You're not doing it now, though.
Yeah, I am.
You're gonna be calling out of work when your children are sick. When guys go on interviews, does the job look at it? If you have children, is the job looking at it as like you're gonna be reliable to come to work every day on time? Are you gonna have to leave early if your children need to be picked up? Are you gonna come in late? You're gonna miss work? Are you gonna have to find a sitter? Do jobs look at things like that for fathers?
Like, do they have the same type of sympathy they would have for a woman?
I don't think it's sympathy. I think it's
I feel like honestly,
are you gonna be able to be a responsible, reliable worker?
No, I feel like it's
your
sympathy.
children gonna get in the way.
I feel like it's sympathy. Because there could be a whole bunch of workers that I have here, but at the end of the day, if I know you're a single mother and I know you're stressed at home and you're going through X, Y, and Z, I'm going to give you a personal day, or I'm not going to take it so personal because you're coming in late or anything like that. I know what you're going through. Everybody's been there. They've done it. It's life.
And if he knows the dad is single with the kids too.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it should be an equal thing, but.
Do you think you guys get that?
It should be, but is that what goes on? Do jobs ask questions like that? Do you say, you got to be here at this time? Sometimes we got to stay later. Are you going to be able to stay later? Or are you going to have to leave to pick up your child? These are the kind of things that we go through in interviews.
The only thing that job really asks is they don't ask that in detail like that. They'll ask, how many kids do you have? Or do you have any kids? That's it. They won't ask, oh, do you got to get them from daycare at this time?
Oh, well, see, that's a difference. That's what we get asked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they trying to work, if you're hired and they're trying to work around your schedule, yeah. But, like, as far as, like, your first interview as a man, they don't really ask us detailed questions about, your kids like that.
And I don't like that.
Do you have kids?
Guys should get the same treatment as ladies as far as that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if you do have full custody of your children?
You don't have no help for nowhere else.
So they ask y'all women that in interviews? Like,
absolutely.
Yes.
They ask what time we need to pick up our kids, if we need to do anything with our kids certain days. Is there anything they need to know about?
Maybe that's just the employer trying to make sure they're not putting it, like, if I'm gonna invest my money in something,
that's another thing too.
I'm gonna check to see how the business is doing,
how available you really are.
You can't imagine how many females, I gotta get my kid, you know what I'm saying? As an employer, they probably have multiple and a lot of people as females. Oh, my kids, I gotta get my kids early from school at 3:30 on Friday, every day, every Friday. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm asking if you would be able to do this full time.
For me, yeah, I did it. So I know what it's like to have to shut things down your whole life to take care of kids.
I seen a meme that said, I've never heard a guy say, I can't make it or I can't do it because I have my kids.
I miss life-changing opportunities because I had my son.
Okay. We got to wrap it up now. Continue to follow at What Would Zay Say on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. You want to let them know where they can find you?
XO_mini. Y'all already know.
Well, thank you for joining me. And I'm
No
looking
problem.
forward to the next episode.
Yes.
I love you all. Good night.